tell me a little bit about who you are first. Let's go with that.
Sure. So my name's Ritchie. I don't give myself any labels anymore because I think the whole thing's a trap. But about 2.5 years ago, I went public with my story, which, to give you the very quick version, is I transitioned male to female. I had the surgery. By that I mean the full vaginoplasty, and I regretted it pretty much instantly. I coped for a couple of years, and I was trying to talk about this a lot in my circles, especially with health professionals, and I was just getting turned away. It was like a conversation you weren't allowed to have. And for a while, I was just completely beside myself. I thought, like, I've played my hand, I've lost, and I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And when I tried to talk about these problems, I found that I was getting restricted a lot in trans spaces, or there was like a hush-hush tone. Yes, I agree with you, but don't say that publicly. Because it's all about the cause, you see. You don't want to do anything that can dampen the cause or cause any problems for other people. You always get this line about you have to take your own responsibility, which basically means shut up and don't say anything because you did this. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't hold the scalpels. I wasn't the one who signed any assessments. It took a team to get here. And at first, I was very much in that mindset of I blame myself and I just kind of want to work through this. So I went to the gender clinic about 3 months after surgery and I said, I regret this. And they went, no, you don't. Oh. And I was like, okay. And I was just getting gaslit because I've got obsessive compulsive disorder and I was diagnosed before I went in. And they tried to say that it was all an obsession and a rumination. It was part of the OCD. And I kept going back to them and I was like, I regret this. I shouldn't have done this. All I want to tell you is I just shouldn't have done this. And they kept saying no. And it literally drove us insane because I was like, all I want to say is I've made this huge mistake and I don't want others to get harmed, obviously, but I want to tell someone. And then after this, about a year back and forth after surgery with the gender clinic, they got me referred to a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and my gender therapist came with us, and they re-diagnosed us with OCD, and they diagnosed us with unstable personality disorder. That was how they categorized the regret, and they said it was all this part of this shift in unstable personality that you had, and I was just so pissed off at them. And then about 6 months after that, I got discharged, and I just felt like I got kicked to the curb. And then about the time I got discharged, lockdown was just about to start, and I was working from home a lot. And I started seeing myself on camera, and there was like video recordings, of say a Teams meeting. And then I started to really realize just how I looked and stuff. And because I was like one of those people like, oh yeah, I blend in. I think everyone has that quote of I blend in. I was like, I don't really. And
you thought you didn't blend in?
I think I blended in at one point, but eventually you just kind of come to realize it's just like a sustained lie to yourself.
As a woman, blending in as a woman. Yeah.
Blending in or to be perceived as a woman. And after sort of the regret and being told no, I just kind of became really annoyed that I couldn't talk about this. And then I just thought, right, that's my hand played. I'm just gonna cope and deal with it, and if I don't like it in a few years' time, I'll just neck myself. Yeah. Because I was literally just like, fuck this, and excuse me for swearing.
It's all right.
But the problems I were having, I'm still having now. The pain and the urinary issues and the lack of sensation, and it felt really cruel because the only sensation I have is deep pain. And I don't get any pleasure. And I just really hated how everyone was saying, either it's all your fault, which obviously I accept responsibility, but how much do I need to accept in this is the question. And what do they mean by you need to take responsibility? Do they mean be quiet and just say it's all my fault? Because that's what I did, and it nearly finished us off. And what I wanted a chance for myself and for others going through this, because no one's there to tell you like why it's gone wrong, or to really explain to you what the procedure is, and to really realize what those risks are as well. Because you get, when you have surgery, you don't get told about a lot of the stuff that I've been public about, like the pain and the lack of sensation. You get this sheet of odds, and it's like 1 in 2,000, 1 in 250, and it's like very minor, like granulation, infection. And you're like, yeah, of course, it's this big surgery. You're going to get granulation. You're going to get an infection. But it doesn't go into enough detail about, like, say, the stenosis, the necrosis, and the sensation lost, and also what it does to your psyche as well, because your brain never really kind of gets over it.
What was stenosis and necrosis?
Stenosis is the tightening of the urethral passage. So that basically means that you can't pee without extreme pain. Oh, okay. It's like a constricted urethra. So I had that, and I had it very bad after surgery. Like I couldn't, even on a catheter, I couldn't empty my bladder, and it was like extreme pain because your bladder's full and it's trying to add more and it can't get out. And necrosis is the death of flesh, which is where you get the smell of dead bodies and that horribleness. Luckily, I didn't have necrosis. I know plenty of people who have. I know you've had previous guests who have praised the work of the likes of, say, Dr. My surgeon was Mr. And I think they're both absolute butchers. I know people who they've had disastrous complications, and he's just treated them like absolute crap, like disregarded them. And I'm just thinking, how dare you give a shout out to that person? Because I heard him say,
I can feel your anger speaking about it.
I'm really pissed. I'm really pissed off at how detransitioners get treated, and anyone who like has a decorum of regret in the space. You're expected to be all knowledgeable, you expect to have all the answers, and you're also put on this crazy trial. And it's like, you don't just walk one tightrope, you can walk about 20 different tightropes. And if you slip on one, you get caught by the other crowd who are like, why did you say that? Why did you say that? And it's just like, holy shit, I'm just trying to tell you, I regret this and I shouldn't have done this. And I remember the lead up to surgery when I was trying to ask people, like, what was it? Like, what's it like? Is it good? And the ones who had like in hindsight had really bad regrets, they would just say, no, it's okay. It's fine. I don't regret it. And I thought, why are we all just like taking this? Why isn't anyone like saying like, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have had that surgery? And even if it went well, which basically means you have less complications, that's all that means, but you're still being castrated at the end of the day. But yes, I am quite angry about the whole thing.